I set it to Icelandic time because we share a love of the Aurora Borealis, Gordy. And you have no idea how to tell time.
Great gift, Dad. Way to think things through.
Somehow you'd think that a man who can send a rocket into space would be able to manage a halfway decent birthday present. Nope.
Gordy, all things considered, maybe my gift isn't so bad after all.
Hey, Gordy. Surprise. Wow. Now there's a gift.
Here you go, Gordy. Happy birthday.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
Yeah, the greater good. How about
the greater good, or not,
or nope?
It is Spooktoberfest, so
yeah. This is Cheap Scare Reviews. This is the month where we watch sometimes scary movies. Sometimes it's not really scary. Sometimes it's just just a good time. So, yeah, last week, nothing scary, just a good time. This week, we'll decide if this was scary or nope. This is episode 452, and tonight we are talking about 2022's Nope. I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew. That's why you boom under the horse.
Yeah, I had thought about you when I saw that scene. It just made me think, I bet Sean's had some experience in this department.
Yeah, but the film sets that I were on were not nearly as pretentious or stuck up as that. We're a low budget film. We can't afford to be that. And that everything on that set just made my stomach hurt.
You guys
really?
You guys didn't have a garden ball duct taped to a plunger?
No, we did not have a 3D. There was no green screen happening for us.
It's just stop motion.
No, we weren't doing that either. The funniest bit with a horse, I know I've probably told this story on set. One of the funniest things that we had with a horse was we didn't realize it at the time, but most of the horses that we did have on set are movie horses. They're horses that have gotten that are used to being around a lot of people, a lot of movement. Well, one of them was actually trained to do a task, and so we would hear, we'd hear ready, roll sound, roll camera, action, and then all of a sudden we started hearing this. I don't know if you can hear that through the microphone, but you hear this knocking sound, and I'm looking over. And the horse is stomping on the wooden sidewalk of the old West. and I kind of point to the horse, and I'm pointing to my ears, and so they call cut. And so the animal wrangler goes over there and trying to calm the horse down. Okay, ready and action. And then the horse starts doing it again, and that's when we realized the horse was trained to do that on the cue action. So we had to move the horse far enough away that if it starts clapping on the ground, you don't hear it. But it was because it was on the wood is why you could hear it. So
they didn't want to just change the word to go.
They might have actually. They might have. The word.
That makes it too simple. I mean,
and
they're dealing with audio guys, so you got to be really simple.
Well, we don't. It doesn't matter to us. We're shooting video, so as long as the boom is in relatively near the actors, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
you could just run a lavalier up the hair of the horse to mic the horse when he talks.
That's true. I could do that. I'm not sure why. Well, that's a good point. Because on a human, you don't put the mic on the neck; you put it on their chest. So, would you put it on the breast of the horse, or would you put it on the neck under the long beak of the horse?
There's a beak. They have beaks.
Yeah, that snout, that long snout that they have, that face, that long face that they have. Anyway,
why the long face?
I don't know.
I was waiting for that.
This is we've gone to a weird place.
Yeah,
and Sam,
I'm uncomfortable right now.
Well, speaking of horses, Sam, never steal a man's fake horse, Vector.
Absolutely right. But Sean,
yeah,
I want you to look at something in the sky for me, okay?
Okay.
So that we can see what happens when you do that.
Sure.
So I need you to go ahead and do that at some point tonight.
Yeah, like the image behind Andrew right now with all 4 actors looking up. That's me every time I go outside to take my dog out. As I look up at the stars every time.
Oh,
Looking for the one cloud that doesn't move.
Man, if I see that now, I'm gonna be a little freaked out. The one cloud that doesn't move.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. So yeah, this is 2022's Nope, a Jordan Peele movie. Some people might be saying, "Well, why did you do this one and not Get Out or Us?" And the answer simply is we didn't. We just chose this one.
We don't know any better.
Yeah.
We really don't. I mean, has any of you guys seen any of the other stuff?
No.
Because I haven't. Yeah.
I heard that Get Out was great. And
yep.
I also heard that Us was good and scary. So yeah. This seemed interesting. This one I wanted to see more than the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm there with you.
I guess because of the sci-fi element.
Well, and this one to me, like, stuck in my memory from seeing the previews and advertisements and everything. This one was like, for some reason, Get Out and Us didn't really stick with me. And this one had an element, and maybe it was that just sci-fi element that I was like, okay, I kind of want to see that.
Yeah.
And I remember the trailer for this was on a Super Bowl. The first teaser was at a Super Bowl, and it got everyone's attention because you had no idea what was happening. The trailer gave you no indication of what was going on other than, there's a guy and a horse, and there's something like, even last week when I said all one thing I knew about it was a guy and a cow, and you said no, it's a horse. So like, I didn't get that part wrong. But yeah, it's interesting. And so, but I have IMDb pulled up right now on that page, and the trailer that it's showing is showing clips that aren't in the movie.
Oh, really?
There's a couple of moments that aren't even in the movie, which is really
Weird.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless by some chance that I missed them when I was switching over to write a note, but usually I paused it. Like for this movie, I paused when I would go.
It's just not a Volkswagen commercial you're watching?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I mean, there was a couple of scenes in that trailer that just now ended on my computer that I had not seen. It's interesting. All right, so Andrew, what is Nope?
Well, the residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. That is what IMDb says, which doesn't tell us anything at all other than the location.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's
interesting.
That's all it says.
All right. Well, yeah. All right. So I'm really interested to. So let me ask this question. So this was Sam. This was your second viewing, and Andrew, this was your first viewing, right?
Right. Yeah.
We have. I think we are well. We have lots of evidence that would confirm that when it comes to scary movies, I'm kind of the coward of the group. I think.
Yes.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you guys maybe this question. Maybe this isn't fair. I don't know. But like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 being Army of Darkness on the scare scale, and 10 being whatever the movie that freaked you out the most, right? Like whatever it is for you, right? Like whether it was The Exorcist or if it was, like right now in the last 5 years, it would have to be Paranormal Activity for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, right. I'd be interested to know 1, what your scale is, and 2, like where does this movie rank on that scale? I'd be curious to know. So what would that be, Sam? For you?
For me, maybe a 3.
Okay.
Maybe a 3. There were some spots where there was a little bit of it's not horror and fear or jump scares, but just concern about what's going to happen to the characters. I guess.
Okay.
So I don't think I ever got a jump scare in this movie. If I remember right.
This one got 2 jump scares for me.
Did it really?
Yeah, I very vividly remember 2 big ones for me. Like,
interesting.
I watched this on my laptop with my good headphones, and the second jump scare, I nearly lost my laptop. Off my lap. Yeah.
What was that? What scene was that?
So the first one was it's one of the, and I want to go into pretty interesting detail about the scene with the monkey.
Oh yeah.
Really curious about the scene with the monkey.
Okay.
But it's the scene where the monkey has done his business, and we're going to get there. I'm going to tease it out a little bit if you haven't seen the movie, but you're listening to the show. He's done the thing, and he's going to the kid that's hiding underneath the table, and he's looking for Nux, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a shot, and it's when the trainers or the cops or whoever, bang, right? That one got me. But the horse through the windshield nearly killed me. I nearly died.
I mean, I think those probably are the only 2 jump scares, I would call it, in the movie. But for me, they didn't make me jump or anything. It was clear when I watched it that that's what the intention was.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get a jump from it.
What is your 10, Sam, for your scale? I don't remember what
my scale of 10 for scary.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm trying to think of the scariest movie I've ever seen. Even The Exorcist was scary, but not a 10.
Is it a movie that we've done, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I remember as a kid they hit different than they do as an adult.
Sure.
I remember watching the first horror movie I ever watched. We snuck a copy of People Under the Stairs and watched with my cousins, and that thing wrecked me for weeks. And it was watching it now, it's like, man, that is just so stupid. It's just so stupid. But in terms of scariness, I remember in college watching very late at night, watching The Ring.
Yeah.
And being freaked out afterwards, especially realizing that I had rented it on a VHS.
Yeah.
And that I had put it into the VCR. So that one freaked me out. But in terms of just scariness, when we did The Conjuring,
the first one,
the first one I thought was pretty darn good, but that was more fun jump scares, not like laying awake at night jump scares. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'd have to really think about it to think.
Yeah, I didn't prep.
What my top 10 would be of that type of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Again, I didn't prep either one of you on this. I was just.
What do you guys have? What are some of your?
I already told you. I mean, like Paranormal Activity wrecked me for a couple days. I mean, The Conjuring was pretty scary. Midsummer bothered me. It didn't scare me, but it bothered me.
Yeah. And I think there's a difference between bother and scare.
Yeah.
Right.
No, again, Paranormal Activity scared the shit out of me. I did not sleep that night. And I didn't sleep well for the next couple days. Seriously. I'm not saying that to whatever. I mean, like legit. I told you both when we recorded that episode and days later. I have not slept well because of that movie. Because most of the stuff that I've seen that would go on that list for me were things for the podcast. Because I avoid this stuff intentionally.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Halloween movies never scared me. The Friday the 13th movies certainly didn't scare me. But the first Conjuring one was pretty, pretty harrowing.
Mm-hmm.
Train to Busan, not scary, but really, really good. But that's not what we're talking about. The Babadook kind of got me a little bit. It was a little unsettling. Yeah, it's
but again, that one got right.
A little bit, just unsettling. It wasn't like scary. It was just like a little. It's like, oh, okay, what's going to happen next? Like it's just the anticipation of the jump scare is what got me more than anything.
Yeah,
But But as a kid, like talking about movies as a kid, for me when I was not much older than Declan, 11 or 12. No, actually, I would have been younger than Declan, my son, who's 11. I would have been 10 or 11. I watched Lord of the Flies. It was on HBO, and I watched Lord of the Flies. It's kids killing kids. So watching that as a kid was like, oh my gosh, my school is going to one day devolve into this nightmare, and I'm going to get killed by a boulder. That's what I thought was going to happen. What about you, Andrew?
Well,
the first,
as far as like where this movie would land on my scale, I would give it a 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean it's not really scary to me. It's more suspenseful than anything. Yeah. And like Sam said, it's like a suspense of not knowing what's going to happen to the characters and not knowing what's going to happen next. But as far as my scale, though, my 10, I was trying to think of the same as Sam, just trying to think of what my scariest movie would be. Insidious is probably up there. And it wasn't extremely scary, but I don't know, it just bothered me the most, I guess. And The Conjuring as well. So I don't know. I'm not really, and I wouldn't even call those a 10. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I've seen a movie that has really been a 10 for me.
Yeah.
Because even like, I can remember watching Saw for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember when that was, but I can remember watching it for the first time and just being really, really bothered. Like, somebody's gonna die right here on screen. Like, this guy's gonna have to cut his leg off in front of me, and
like not wanting to watch that, or
right. And it was
like
the
anticipation is worse than anything else, really.
I think it was the anticipation of the uncomfortable, really.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fear. I don't know. But if I had to pick something to be at the top of my scale, I think it would be Insidious and The Conjuring. But again, for me, those, I still think they're around a 5. I wouldn't even call them a 10. I don't, scary movies or horror movies don't really bother me that much. I'm not really.
Yeah, I envy you in that. I do.
Yeah, that's where I am on that. But
okay,
I wish that. Well, in some ways, I wish that I could find something that truly would scare me, just to know where my limit is. But at the same time, I'm good. Like, I don't know that I want to be pushed any further.
Yeah, just look at your bank account; you'll be scared.
Right.
That is a great point, because there is that. At what point is it too much? You hear about people loving these things and leaving movie theaters and things like that, but I just don't know if I've ever gotten to that point.
But I wonder, though. I mean, yeah, you hear about I forget the movie where people were like they were vomiting and they were leaving the theater.
Like Terrifier 2 or something like that.
Something like that.
Wasn't it Exorcist? Weren't people going crazy in Exorcist?
That happened. But there's a movie that's more recent. I think you're right, Sean. It's Terrifier 2.
Yeah, I think people were getting like we're throwing up in the theater. It was so violent and so gory.
But yeah, that's the thing, though. It's not really scary. It's just like violent and over the top for no reason other than to make you sick. Like,
No.
Yeah. Well, you don't know.
I do. To answer my own question, I think you said 2 and a 3. I would probably have put this higher on my list on that number until the ending.
Right. Yeah.
Like having now seen it all the way through, it's like a 4 or a 5. Because the jump scares did get me, but the stuff that was unsettling was the scenes with the monkey.
Yes, the monkey was the worst part.
And
totally agree.
And I don't know what it has to do with the movie. I have no idea what that monkey scene was about. And I was trying to talk to somebody about it today, but they hadn't seen the movie, so I was trying to be vague. So we need to. We're gonna do 5-word reviews here in a second.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the purpose of the monkey scene was.
Yeah.
I really don't. Is it just to? Did Jordan Peele just need something to be shocking and terrifying to have an ape? I mean, I know the movie, like I guess the subtext is like animals will do animal things and you can't control them.
Right.
And that ultimately the beast in the movie is an alien, but it's just a beast. It's not a thing to be reasoned with. It's not aliens come down, take me to a leader. It's not Independence Day or Edge of Tomorrow. It's an interstellar beast. And
it lives in a cloud.
That lives in that knows how to camouflage itself.
Yeah.
And then eats things that looks at it. And it can't, and it's smart enough to travel again interstellarly, but not smart enough to know that that thing is made of meat and that thing is made of plastic and that thing is made of whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a step above science.
Well, let me ask this question though.
Well,
we're kind of we're getting into it, but is it interstellar?
We don't know, right?
Is it just something that happens? I mean, there's so much, a large percentage of our oceans that have been uncharted and undiscovered, unresearched, and maybe this thing is not from outer space. Maybe it
is of Earth, and we've never seen it because they live in the clouds and they feed on cattle and things like that. I don't know. Sure, but it's still kind of a dumb beast, which is what maybe makes it scary. I don't know. Again, is that the point with the ape? Is that you never know what's going to make it do its thing? And
it had everything to do with Glenn. What's his real name? Glenn's from Walking Dead, but Stephen Yen.
Yeah.
Right? That was him as a kid. So it had to do with his reasoning for doing things, I think, right?
I mean, are you asking or telling me? Like, if
I don't know. I really don't know. So yeah,
I don't either.
I mean, so if we have a couple of moments where he's having some flashbacks, and the movie is really. I thought the movie used the flashbacks really well. Like they were quick cuts. Like it wasn't fade to black and then whatever. Like it was just a quick flash of him remembering this horrible thing, and I don't know. Maybe Jupe is his character name. Like maybe he's trying to relive the glory days by setting up.
And that was my thinking, was that got basically spared from this wild animal, in a way where this is all about eye contact, right? So there was a way he didn't make eye contact, and because he was spared, I think he developed some sort of no one can touch me mentality that translated to his show and his Western land and his flippance of dealing with this alien interdimensional thing, to the point where it eventually caught up to him.
It's interesting because but
it feels like it was a side character, right? And it just feels like it should have been more part of the main character's story for this story. It felt really weird.
The monkey
story. Yeah. I mean, not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it was it felt a little shoehorned in. But I can see kind of why they did that with Stephen Yen's character being kind of no one can touch me.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could have done without any of the monkey scene, and he can just make him an asshole.
But then you would have lost that one jump scare that you thought.
I mean, yeah, that one. Again, it was a good jump scare, but
you would have lost the image of the lady without her face at the Western show.
But again, I don't understand what the purpose of that was.
It was to throw you off in the previews.
I guess I don't like the purpose. Like he's there. Hey, there's my first crush and my co-star. There she is, and she's all, got her veil on because the monkey basically ate her face off, which is horrific.
Yeah.
But like, I don't understand the purpose of it. I really don't. So
Well,
Yeah.
I think at least what I got away from it, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think that we find out that he's been keeping this monster around, basically.
Yeah.
He's been buying these horses and
Feeding it.
for an audience. And because I had the question at first, like, why is this thing just staying right here? There are other cattle, there are other horses there, across the nation. Why is it just
Yeah.
right here? And I thought, when I saw that scene, I thought, oh, this is part of his show. Like, he's paying, or people are paying to come witness this spectacle. That he has.
See, that was the
together.
part. I guess the part that I missed is so he buys these horses so that he can feed the thing, and he did say, like, it's been happening for like a week, and I think at some point that's when he decided to build the amphitheater, because that amphitheater show was the first time he had done that. It was his first
With a big crowd, yeah.
I think with any crowd. I think it was the first time anyone had seen it, because otherwise it would have been all over the internet and whatever. And the story that our heroes are trying to do is to get this thing out onto the internet so people can see it and so they can pay the bills, because ultimately that's what they're trying to do, is just pay some bills.
Yeah.
Is that they want, like, if he would have had a crowd there, that would have been done. So that's why I think, like, this time this was the first time. And of course the wife's like, no, put your cell phones down or whatever, because they're trying to keep it contained.
Right.
But when the horse didn't leave, right, when Lucky didn't run out like he expected it to,
because he was trained.
This horse, was a show horse, and Beastie Donut, whatever, came over and ate the whole crowd.
Yeah.
And
well, no, I was just going to say, I got the impression, though, when OJ goes to get the horse, he talks about getting his horses back, and his reaction was, oh, like, that's not going to be possible. He didn't say that, but you kind of can read between the lines, like, those horses are not around anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't put two and two together until later on when we see that show, and he's been, like, feeding and luring this monster to build, the spectacle that it is.
Yeah. Until it eats everyone. So again, that goes back to the monkey. Like, that poor woman survived a monkey attack only to get eaten by a space donut. It's like, you kind of feel bad for her a little bit, but
yeah.
And the other part that really sucked is that none of those people had quick deaths. That thing is flying over.
Oh my gosh, you screaming. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. That part was
suffocating.
Yeah, really unsettling. Like, just hearing the screams, and then of course it decides to take a dump over the house.
Yeah,
which I loved. I thought that was an amazing,
such a cool effect. Yeah,
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Because like at the beginning of the movie, when objects are falling out of the sky, and then you see that there's a key embedded into the horse, and something that hit Keith David's head, like a coin or something.
Looked like a coin, yeah.
And because like I didn't know what happened, right? And then the guy said something about like an airplane, like
right.
People are throwing stuff out of an airplane. It's like, even at terminal velocity, a coin can't kill you. It might hurt.
Well, it had to be thrown, which I'm guessing there was some sort of magnetic field that pushes it out or something.
Yeah, it's like when this thing poops out, it's a really strong force. It's not just gravity. And we see this thing kind of shoot. It's it has like a fart at some point. I remember when it's seeing the cloud. But all right, let's do a 5-word review. We're 5 minutes into the show. Let's do 5-word reviews. Sam, what you got?
All right, I've actually got 3. I've got Better Aliens versus Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
And then I've got my second one is Much Better Than Signs.
Much better than Signs.
And then my last one is Horror Movie is Almost There. I enjoy this movie for what it tried to do. I love the visuals of this movie. I thought just the some of these cinematography moments were just gorgeous in this movie, but it just felt a little disjointed. It felt, I don't know, the like I said, the scare wasn't really there. You know, I think they could have done more. I honestly think they could have done more with the alien stalking them, or the alien, coming closer to them or something. The very final scene with everybody dealing with it and all the little wavy sign people and things like that, I thought was brilliant. But at no point was I really scared for any of them. And I don't know if that's because I didn't care for any of these characters, but I just didn't connect as well as I would hope to do with a good horror movie with people in peril. But again, you go to a movie and you hope you see things that you've never seen before. And this one actually, I think it did it for me in terms of how the UFO worked, especially when it started expanding at the end and you're like, what the heck is this thing doing? The way it moved and the way it just looking at it made it come after you. I thought that was kind of an interesting twist on a monster movie, because that's basically what this is, right? It's a monster movie. And I think Jordan Peele did well. I'm actually I might have to watch some of his other stuff. If the other stuff is better than this, then maybe it's really good. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
So while you were chatting, or not chatting, while you were talking, Sam, I scrolled through the trivia for just a quick whatever, and I found this one, because we were just talking about this. While Jordan Peele did not explain the significance of the deadly chimpanzee attack witnessed by Jupe as a child, according to an analysis published by Variety, so this is what Variety magazine says, it is meant to show that you can't tame a predator, which is what he says in the movie, and mankind will risk everything for spectacle. Jupe exploited the Gordy's home massacre for profit, and similarly thought he could tame the creature for a show business opportunity. Jupe's survival of the chimpanzee attack gave him the mistaken impression that he could tame an alpha predator who are often unpredictable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, we all three of us kind of like,
we all danced on it.
We all kind of danced around that.
We were hovering around that, yeah.
Hovering around it and then sucked it up and then
sucking it up, yeah.
What you got, Andrew?
It out on houses. I only have one 5-word review to this week, and it is simply this. After I find it, good, not great, sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
I think it is good. The acting is tremendous. I think the actors
that
did
is
a
true.
Great job. Everybody. I mean, even when they do those flashbacks, the kid actor, like the people on the set, like I honestly Googled, was the Gordy's home incident a real thing? Like, because I thought, wow, I wonder if that actually happened, which I did find out that it's based on a similar incident, but not that.
Oh, really?
It wasn't that bad, but there was.
Right. But like Sam said, the visuals are spectacular. They're stunning. And there's not much to it. Like, okay, sorry. There's a lot to it when it comes to the visual effects, but you're in the setting, there's not much. You're just in a desert, right? You're in this, very arid, dry place with some mountains and a sky. And that's what you're working with. And to have that be taken and turned into what we saw is tremendous. But was I ever scared? No. Did I want to be? Yes.
Yeah.
It was suspenseful, but I also saw a lot of it coming. It is a monster flick, and I do like the twist of the UFO that we're used to thinking about is not a metal spaceship; it's an actual being itself. Because I don't think we've ever seen that before. So in that sense, it's very new. It's different, and it gives an explanation to UFOs that I don't think I've ever heard before, or heard anybody try to make an argument for, that maybe it's actually a being itself and not little green men flying around in a saucer. So,
yeah. I will say this: the other scene that kind of got me on edge was the scene when he goes to turn off the water system in the barn, and then it gets turned back on, and then the thing stands up, and
yeah,
your screen is just dark enough, like you can't really make out what it is.
Yeah.
And then a second one pops out of the stall, and he just goes, "Nope," and he's like because he's trying to take a picture of it. And then one of them jumps out like close to him, and then he punches it, like any human would, right? If you do a jump scare, that's your fight, flight, or hide response.
Fight or flight. Yep.
And he just punches it, and it's a kid,
right?
But in those 30 seconds, Jordan Peele, the director, did a really good job giving me some anxiety. What's going to happen. So he's really good at building that anticipation, that anxiety. At least, again, it worked for me.
Well, and the same thing happened kind of in the store in Fry's, where man behind the desk.
Yeah.
Where he's the guy, where he's the power goes off, or the lights go off, and the store's just closing, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, "Oh gosh, is this thing over the store now?" Like, because all the power's going off.
Yeah,
and then you realize that they're just closing,
and the
then
girl
there's
some Cheetos and just yeah. That was good. There's some good moments there. There's some good kind of world.
I mean, do you think it needed to escalate even more than it did? Did we need to have it attack a town?
I don't know if we needed to. I mean, I think if you're just going for gore and scary effect, you could have shown us more what was happening to those poor people inside there.
Yeah.
Maybe the eating process is a little bit more violent than just, it has a powerful vacuum inside of it, but
like it has digestive acid that people are getting.
Yeah, like they're being ripped apart or something. I don't know, but
some sort of mechanical, just grinding. That would have
the one shot where it showed like the person in there and like it's all squishy and fabricy in there, like I'm in bed, because at that point I was in bed, and it's like, ooh, I need to stretch. I need to like move my arms, to confirm that I have freedom of movement,
getting a little claustrophobic for you.
And I don't
what that
claustrophobic ever. I mean, heck, even when we watched Buried, that didn't bother me at all. But it's just like in that moment, it's like, oh, I need to have a little bit of breathing room.
You know what that scene reminded me of was you remember the birth scene from Look Who's Talking?
Okay, that's not where I was going to go, but sure.
That's what for some reason that's what it reminded me of. Because you're just seeing like the inside of a fallopian tube or something. I don't know what
it reminded me of when Agent K goes after his gun and gets
the
bug in Men in Black.
Yeah.
My 5-word reviews were scary, but for different reasons. Meaning the beastie never really scared me. It was always the jump. That stuff was what scared me. And the horse jump scare, the falling horse, and then the other one, which is actually 6 words. So I'm taking a page out of Andrew's book. Interstellar beast that hates eye contact.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just shy.
Yeah.
Don't look at me, or I'll eat you.
Maybe it's super insecure. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll change Interstellar to insecure beast that hates eye contact.
Don't look at me, I'm hideous.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you guys have both made really great points about, you're showing me something we haven't seen before, and I like that. And I also said that. So my first note was freaky intro. It's been, I can't say it ever, I've been unsettled by the Universal logo happening. You know, like that the Universal logo is coming on, and like that clip that I played at the beginning of the episode, that's happening. Now I cut the clip off before it gets violent, and you hear the violence. It's just the audio. You don't see what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's with the shoe?
That's just kind of standing straight up.
Straight up,
right?
like unnaturally.
Mm-hmm.
So when the camera focuses on that, I thought, oh, there's some unnatural things happening here. This is more than
right.
This is, and like that's where I thought the movie was going to go. Is that, you know how like in you guys seen The Happening with Mark Wahlberg, the really awful.
Actually, no, I've heard it's really bad, so I have not.
The trees are the killer. Like I thought it was going to be something like that. Like this thing has come down and turned animals against us or something, and like weird gravitational things or the evidence of it. You know, like the power going out or whatever. I don't know. I just, your mind makes up stories to try to understand what's happening. Because the scene, we don't get a whole lot of information.
Yeah.
Right. We hear the scene, then they're screaming, and then we cut to a sound stage. We're actually backstage, and then the camera walks backstage and then comes onto the set where there's a couple bodies kind of strewn out. You can see some blood on the set, and then a woman's pair of legs, and then the camera, I think, cuts to Jupe's underneath the table, his point of view. And we haven't seen him yet. And then the chimpanzee comes over and he's covered in blood and he's trying to wake up the woman. And then there's the shoe. And then it cuts to, Keith David on a horse. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this movie? Right. Like to have that as your cold open was really, really good.
Yeah, you totally don't. I mean, for everything that they gave us in any kind of preview, you didn't see that coming.
Nothing.
Which I love that. I love when you are totally surprised.
Yeah,
so
I was surprised. Were you surprised? Oh, I was surprised. Honestly, I'll say this: the part of the movie for me that was the most unrealistic is the story that Jupe tells about SNL doing a skit based on what happened to the show. Like Chris Kattan as an ape running around, like that ape, killed people. I cannot imagine ever in a scenario where they would greenlight a sketch comedy about an ape murdering people.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there is a skit with Chris Kattan as an ape.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I think maybe that's where they got it. I don't know.
And there is, and you made reference to it, Andrew. There was a show, and I think it was somebody from SNL. They actually had an ape on set, a chimp or something. And at one point, the chimp did try to do harm to one of the cast members, and they ended up basically de-teething, like they pulled out its teeth, so it couldn't bite. It didn't have, so. That kind of thing, but like that's one of the reasons why like you don't do real chimps anymore on movie sets. That's why you have to do CGI, just because they're unpredictable, and they are predators.
Yeah,
right.
So, and somebody's near a train. Did Corny rejoin the podcast?
No, believe it or not, it's clear as day outside or something. That's right outside my window here. That's crazy.
That is crazy. And you don't really live near a train. It's like,
no, I don't. It's
a couple miles away.
Several miles away.
We live in North Carolina. That's probably some redneck with those train horns on his truck, to be honest.
So last night I'm trying to go to sleep and I'm having a hard time, not because the movie was unsettling, but it's just because I didn't finish the movie until late, and I'm just going over the movie in my head, and I'm trying to calm my brain down, and I'm just having a hard time. And right as I took a melatonin, like I'm trying to just calm down so I can go to sleep. And we live our backyard fronts up against a road, and somebody at like 12:30 decided that this is the time where I can drive on this road at 65 miles an hour in my big nuts muscle car. And this guy comes tearing around, and you hear the tires screeching as he's losing control a little bit in the turn, and then he regains it and then just peels off up the street. It was so loud because I have windows open.
Oh, I was about to say, wow. Okay.
It's that time of year, you got the windows open, and it was so freaking loud. So anyway, no one cares. Only a few notes that I wrote, other than what I've already mentioned. I did write the Gordy subplot is really unsettling.
Yeah.
Does Jupe offer people up for sacrifice? So I thought that was what was happening originally, like what you guys said, and then as I watched the scene, that's when I realized, oh, that didn't go the way he thought it was going to go. So, and it's because the horse didn't do what it was supposed to.
Well, it did.
No, he thought the horse was going to run down the valley.
Yeah.
That's what the other ones did. It ran down the valley and then it came down and sucked him up. Which, by the way, that doesn't really go with,
because you need the whatchamacallit, the eye contact, right?
Yeah, but horses can't look up. Like, that's why things above their head freak them out. They can't look up. They don't have the ability to look up.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure why the beast would eat a horse anyway, if it can't see it. I mean,
well, their eyes are higher on their head and on the sides. They're not like front. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he can just. If I see your eyes,
yeah.
Then Sam, change that picture. That's just freaky.
Because when they played "I Wear My Sunglasses at Night," that song, I thought, I wonder if somebody's going to put sunglasses on here and but that never happened.
Well, and he did put a mask over the horse.
Right.
Like, the horse was blind.
Yeah.
And then he put his hoodie on with, the fake eyes on the back so that it would chase him, which I thought was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to talk about the ending here in just a second. I did also write, he left the horse in the trailer, which I'm glad he went back to free the horse.
Yeah.
That's a lot of extension cords.
Yeah.
But we did have a montage.
Yeah, I thought of that too today. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of electricity they got to run through this valley.
Now, I didn't understand it at first that they were using the car batteries to power each wavy man. So, like, when I saw they had set all these guys up, I was like, how many is that all running from the house? Like, how is that not tripping every breaker in the house? And then when he said, I didn't have time, I was doing all these dead people's car batteries, I was like, oh, that's why they stole all those car batteries. Got it. Now I see. But we did have we did have a montage. We had a let's make a plan to stop the beastie montage, which I liked. And then I'll get to that. Okay, I have one last part, but I'll get to that in a second. Antlers, the German or the cinematographer, was an interesting character, and his voice was that gravelly low.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially when he was talking on the phone. It wasn't that bad when they were showing him in person, but when he was on the phone, it was like, to me, I was honestly listening to it thinking, that's not real. They must have lowered that somehow. It was so low.
So low that, like, the phone couldn't pick it up.
Right.
Like, the phone can't reproduce the sound of his incredibly low voice. But I enjoyed his character. I liked that he came out and was like, okay, let's do this. Now, I don't get his death because he did it to himself. I mean, was it like,
I think he was just so
shot, and the only way I can do it is to, but I mean, like,
that was his moment to make, whatever. He was never going to get that opportunity to get that shot again.
Yeah.
And that's what he was
looking for he was looking for that lifetime shot.
So he has to hope that somehow he gets ed up, that the film camera gets pooped out, and that someone finds the film camera and then develops the film.
Right.
So that you can see the incredible shot. Otherwise he died for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah,
on the second time watching that part, I thought it was a little bit far fetched because he already had his little IMAX, manual camera there. He had the shot, or was in the process of getting it. So I thought it was a little over the top, but you needed to have somebody in that quartet die.
Yeah, and we all
he was the most likely one to do it.
I thought it was going to be Mr. Fry.
Yeah.
Just because he was kind of a jerk for the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I thought for sure he was dead when he was wrapped in the.
Oh, wouldn't that have been a cool bet?
And the barbed wire.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, man, that barbed wire is going to like pull him apart. But
yeah.
That didn't happen.
Now that would have been horror, right? While getting munched up while getting ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
But
the barbed wire made him taste bad. That's why he got spit back out.
Yeah.
But the actual finale. So they set up this series of the wavy arm guys so they can know where it is above them by looking at these guys. If it's above them, then they know the thing. A TMZ guy shows up on an electric bike. His death was pretty interesting because they try to save him and then they can't. And literally, OJ was like, "I'm sorry, man," and just he didn't have his mask up either. He was just looking up, and the thing ate him. So again, the rules are a little janky.
Yeah.
But so then, OJ is like looking at the thing, right, and having like this stare off as he's backing the horse up. So like they're having like this showdown, so that he can get it, and he walks far enough away that she can get on the bike. And then the thing can't make up its mind who he wants to eat, I guess. And then finally, when she gets on the electric bike, she goes into Jupe's little Jupiter town, and the thing chases her there. Mm-hmm. And she's the hero of the movie, which is kind of not what you're expecting. You expect that OJ, he's the one that figured out that it's an alpha. He's the one that figured out about don't look up. Like he was the one that figured out all of the rules.
Right.
And she's kind of the eternal screw up, and she's the one that comes up with the idea of and it's a good thing that the big winking dude was a helium filled balloon and not just an air filled bag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because
I don't know, it might have been hydrogen too. So
whatever.
It was something that was very, very, very much under pressure.
Right.
Yes. Well, yeah, maybe it was a hydrogen. Yeah, because when he bit into it, when he tried to eat the thing, it popped him. And the fact that she, it was also so important of her to get the shot from the camera in the well, which is such a weird idea, but why not?
It's all she had.
And yeah, it's all she had. I'm just saying, like, for Jupe to invent, we're going to put a camera at the bottom of the well. So we can see what it looked like from the point of view.
Come on, that's totally something Tweetsie Railroad would have.
Well,
the girl.
But if you paid attention in the cowboy show memorabilia that's all over his office, there's a poster with him and two other kids looking down the well, and you see their picture. So it's recreating that moment from his past movie or whatever.
Okay, that makes sense.
You probably were looking at all kinds of stuff in his office for the
oh Lord,
I cannot confirm, nor did I.
Yeah, that's fine. And the fact that the shoe is in a cabinet in his office is also just
freaky.
It's so freaky because imagine like if he's a kid, right? He just witnessed this awful thing happen, and then the chimp gets shot in front of him. And he goes out there to collect souvenirs?
Well, I wouldn't think he would. I think he probably got it from later on.
He probably got it later on.
He bought it from a collector or something.
Yeah, but like somebody had to, right? It's like, after the police come through with forensics, the prop department, the set department, they have to come in and clean all that stuff up. Oh, that scene was just so unsettling.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the worst part of the movie. That scene, when you actually get to see what happened,
right?
It's just it's the worst part of the movie.
Yeah. And like you said, it was anxiety. It wasn't necessarily horror.
Yeah,
you're just
don't
watching
really
this.
See it, but it's enough where it's like,
Yeah.
Because you as humans, as we watch scary movies, you put yourself in the scenario,
Right.
put yourself in that room, and all you can think of is like, man, if I'm in there with him, like, nothing I can do about it.
I took my kids to the North Carolina Zoo about 3 years ago.
Mhm.
It was in the pandemic because we were trying to think of things that we could do that we could still be distant and
Outdoorsy, yeah.
and outdoorsy.
Yeah.
So we went to the zoo, and I remember taking the kids to the chimpanzee enclosure. And while we were there, and I think I have video of this, the chimps found these baby rabbits, and I'm talking baby bunnies that were kind of skimpering around. And then there was a mom or, a parent bunny that was in there with them. And they were picking up these baby bunnies and just chucking them against the wall. And like they were killing these bunnies, and they were throwing them in the air. And even then I thought, man, chimps are dicks. But then I saw this movie and I was like, yeah, they're kind of dicks.
I don't think I'm gonna make that the name of the episode, but yeah, that's
chimps are dicks. That's the name of the episode.
No, I'm saying I don't maybe not. You don't want to. All right, let's play some clips. I have some clips. For the quote unquote horror movie, I have a surprisingly a number of clips. Now, yeah. All right, here we go. First clip.
Hello, how y'all doing? Sorry for the tardiness. My name is Emerald, that's OJ, and we are your animal wranglers today with Haywood Hollywood horses. Now, did you know that the very first assembly of photographs in sequential order to create a motion picture was a 2-second clip of a black man on a horse? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Look it up.
Interesting. According to his Twitter account, Jordan Peele shared the full intro to Gordy's Home after the movie's release. Set to Strange Animal by Gowan. I don't know. The video parodies similar 80s and 90s sitcom intros, while also foreshadowing a more sinister events depicted in the film. Okay.
Weird.
The trivia in this movie is actually really interesting. First horror film to be filmed with IMAX cameras. I didn't know that. What is happening there, Sam? Good Lord. It's like an outtake from Congo.
Oh, I love it.
That chimp has been into the bath salts.
Yeah. Jordan Peele said he wrote the script at a time where he was a little bit worried about the future of cinema. So the first thing I knew is I wanted to create a spectacle. I wanted to create something that the audience would have to come to see. Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, he did.
I love this line.
What's a bad miracle? We gotta work for that. Nope.
I also thought about for a moment making sure that every clip I picked had the word nope in it, but it didn't work out that way. But I love that phrase, a bad miracle.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it is, right? This is a miracle, but it's awful.
Yeah.
It's kind of a miracle. I labeled this clip douche because this is the guy in the fry store, and he is just being the douchiest McDouchebag ever.
You know, a lot of blackouts. Take the camera out from time to time.
All these new cameras, they have backup battery power, so you should be fine.
But the outages affect the power and the battery shit too, like cell phones.
Okay. All right. Cell phones, they don't just drop in power, right? I mean, maybe your Wi-Fi drops out whenever your system dips. So that's technology.
Yeah, just want to punch him.
But isn't that like the stereotypical tech guy?
It's what movies think the stereotypical tech guy is.
Like I don't work with them anymore since I moved schools, but I worked with a tech person my previous school that was very much that way. And you would like have a suggestion to make something better. And then he would say, yes, that would work, but you're completely stupid and don't know what you're talking about.
You're not wrong. IT guys, and I work in the IT field. We are all a little bit arrogant because we know a thing that you don't know. But he's like, his job is customer service. You know, like it feels like that just, I don't know. He wouldn't have a job for very long if he talked. But, you know, maybe that's how people talk in California. I don't know. He just was very.
It is California.
He was very douche.
Yeah.
This made me laugh.
Okay! Thanks for stopping by!
You don't live here.
Sorry. I'm trying to help.
Sure thing!
You don't live here. You can't say things. I like it. Okay. This clip is entitled "What?" As in, I don't know what the guy says. I listened to this clip. I rewound it 3 times while watching the movie. I didn't have subtitles on. Then when I went back to capture the clip and listened to it 3 times, I still don't know what he says. So here we go. This is this week's episode of What Did He Say?
I can monitor the feeds remotely myself if you want. Free of charge.
Hell no.
I can monitor the feed remotely if you want.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard too.
I can monitor the feeds remotely myself if you want. Free of charge.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Man, now that you've said it, I hear it. I never picked that up at all. Oh my gosh, I can monitor. I never heard that. To me, it was mumbles.
Yeah, it was kind of mumbly, but
I can monitor the feeds remotely myself if you want. Free of charge.
Monitor the feed remote. Like Jordan
remotely
Peele,
myself. Yeah,
Can we do one more take of that where you enunciate the word?
but maybe that makes him more douchey. Like, I am out if he's remotely. If you
And it
want.
makes sense now
Yeah.
because later on he was like called him. He was like, "Hey, I'm on the feed. I'm to get that bug off there." She's like,
Right.
"I told you not to do that."
Yeah.
And that makes sense. That makes sense now, but man, I could not understand what he said. Oh, all right. Here's a good nope.
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
That's he's in the barn.
Yeah.
And the guys. Here's another nope.
Nope.
That's when the beastie's right over his truck right before the horse falls. Now I captured this one just so I could have the conversation with Sam. Because again, I do this. Sometimes I write notes as the movie happens, and then if I get the answer later, then I'll put the answer in. So here's the clip.
Where is the feed for host camera?
Couldn't figure it out. Over.
What you mean you couldn't figure it out? Over.
Host is shooting on a film camera, and all of our cameras are digital, so it's a whole thing. Over.
Basically, you forgot about it. Over.
Okay. So I captured that for the point where I wrote, I honestly don't think film cameras have a signal out for them to for someone to digitally view.
Do they?
I've only worked on 2 film sets where we used film cameras, and we did not have a video assist, right? It was the director was just sitting there next to the camera operator. He would look into the viewfinder, confirm the shot, and then they would just watch the scene. We were also shooting on 16 millimeter film. I then Googled it to find out how that works. And there actually is a process in which on film cameras, film sets, basically there's a camera, a tiny camera that's inserted in the film camera that's looking through the aperture of the camera. And then that has a feed that goes to a monitor so that the director can look at the feed, what the camera's doing. Because you would have to. I mean, I'm saying there's no way that movies like Jurassic Park, which are on film, or Schindler's List, or any Stanley Kubrick movie, he doesn't have a way to monitor what the camera's doing. Like, I knew there had to be a way. I just didn't know what it was. So that is how they do it. So that's why I captured that clip so I could explain the science behind that, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I again, having worked on film sets, I learned something because we didn't have that. We didn't have that. All right, time for this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Time for the game. Andrew, we all know the rules. If you don't know if you're listening to this is your first time, go listen to another episode because I'm not explaining it. Go.
Yeah, seriously, do that because I made the mistake of mentioning today in one of my classes that I have, I'm on a podcast, and they said, "Whoa, what is it?" And again, verbal diarrhea. Right? I told them, and so they may be listening to this episode. I don't know. They shouldn't be because I told them not to.
But that's even more.
I know.
Catnip to do it.
So if you're a student of mine and you're listening, shame. All right. You've been warned. Okay. First question. We'll start with Sam. Okay. What was the former name of Jupiter's claim?
The former name of Jupiter's claim was Motown.
And Jupiter's claim was Jupe's ranch there, right? Yeah. No, it was not Motown. Sean.
I don't remember what it was. The Golden Gulch.
That is also incorrect. It was Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
Oh, they pull up and she says, "What happened to Gold Rush?"
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. By the way, Sam, that picture is the most terrifying thing that I've seen in the past 2 days.
Baby for some reason.
Yeah. Okay, Sean, this is your question.
Because that shirt doesn't fit me anymore. I've gotten too fat.
All right, Sean. What year did Gordy's Home TV show begin airing?
1986.
That is incorrect. Sam.
I want to say it's 85.
It was 1996. You were very close.
Oh, wow.
1996.
That show had very 80s vibes. That's
it
why.
Did though, right? Did not feel like a 90s show.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Here's the problem: is like saying we still think the 80s was like 10 years ago.
Yesterday. Yeah.
It was 40 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. Sam, how many times is the word "nope" said in the film?
I'm going to say 32.
Sean.
27.
8.
Only 8?
Only 8?
Only 8.
Captured 4 of them?
It sounds like, I mean, it feels like they say it a lot, but it's only 8 times.
Is that from your count, or did you read that in trivia?
No, I found that online.
Okay. Oh, you added another monkey?
All right. Sean, this is back to you. What flavors of icy does Jupe offer at Jupiter's claim?
The camera puts it right on there. There's strawberry. There's a lime, like a green lime, bust a lime. Orange, strawberry, and bust a lime.
Sam.
Yeah. I want to say there's strawberry, purple, and
there's 4 of them,
and red.
There are 4 of them.
Yeah, I knew there were 4.
Cherry.
That is also incorrect. 2 of them, the green ones, are cactus flavored.
Ew.
And then one is watermelon, and then the other one is sky blue. Are the flavors that are listed on there?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Last question. This goes to Sam.
Horrible. Okay.
When M is in the house watching the jockey video, the power goes off because the monster is overhead, getting ready to crap on them, literally. What image is last seen on the screen before the power goes out?
A cowboy riding off into the sunset.
No. Sean.
I'm trying to picture the scene. She turns on.
She's watching the black jockey on the horse, the first footage, right? But there's something else on that video.
I don't know. Is it like home movies of them?
Kind of, yes, but it's something very specific.
Oh, it's her riding a horse.
So no, that would be good. When the power goes off, it's the scene that her dad is training the horse for Scorpion King, and you see The Rock dressed as the Scorpion King in the background.
Oh, that's right. I forgot because he wears that Scorpion King shirt at the end.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. So I have one more since there's no points so far. Last question. Well, we'll just call this a tiebreaker. What is the name of the restaurant where Angel, OJ, and M sit down and eat?
It looked like a Waffle House. I mean, I know it's not, but I have no idea. Omelets Are Us.
Sam?
Coffee house.
No. It was called Copper Potts. Sorry, I wrote it down. Copper Potts Cove. It was like a pirate themed. It kind of like a Long John Silver's.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they were eating shrimp po' boys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, sadly, no points awarded for this game.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's about par.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. All right, cool. Well, that's it. Time for
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where we give the movie a score from 0 to 10 on how well that we liked it. And we start, as always, with Andrew.
Yeah, my power died on my iPad, which means there's a monster overhead now. So I'm not sure what IMDb gave it. I usually tell you guys that.
Oh,
but
I have
I'm looking here.
Up. It is a 6.8.
6.8. Yeah, and for what it is, I think there's a lot of great qualities about the movie. Is it something that I want to watch again? Not really. I've seen it, and that's enough. It's not rewatchability. It's not great. If there were somebody that said, "Hey, let's watch Nope," I might say okay, as long as there's popcorn or something. But I'm not going to search it out to watch it again for sure. And so I can't really feel good about giving it anything above a 5.5. I'm just going to leave it right there.
Okay. Sam.
Visually, it's amazing. I love the way it looks. I like the way it surprised me in parts. However, I was disappointed in how it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. And I think it was clunky a little bit in places. So I'm not going to go as low as Andrew, but I'm going to give it a good 7.23 out of 10.
Oh, wow. That's pretty high, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty effective, and it was good. I enjoyed it for what it was, and then I also liked that it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. I liked that. So I'm legitimately nervous about next week, but we'll get there when we get there. But I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I mean, it's a good movie. It's very well acted, and it's shot well. The score is actually pretty scary and intense and good, and I liked it. I liked the movie. I don't love it, but yeah, I'm with Andrew. It doesn't have a whole lot of rewatchability, but it was good.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's it. Nope, 2022's Nope. If you haven't seen it though, and you like if you like the horror film, so
it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah,
I think so.
I do too. And it's not, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, so it's not incredibly long. It might be a little too long, but it's all right. I also did like the Sour Patch Kids product placement where she's throwing Sour Patch Kids at the praying mantis, and all I could think of is like, you're wasting precious Sour Patch Kids. Because that's my candy. It's my favorite candy. So, yeah. All right. Next week, I've already said it a couple times, but next week we're doing Hereditary, the Ari Aster film. Right? It's him. Hereditary. We watched Midsummer, and this is his other film. And it's interesting because like some people have said that Midsummer is a better film, and other people said that Hereditary is the better film, and some people have said that all of his movies are awful and that they're not good. None of them are good.
No, I don't agree with that. But
No.
I am looking forward to this one because I want to be bothered.
Well, you know, I'm looking for that scary one this month, right? We always seem to be able to find something that makes me jump, and I want to see it. Yeah, ready for it.
If it has the jump, great. If not, I'm okay with just being bothered really badly, like I was with Midsommar.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is not a jump scare movie. This is going to be what the heck did I just watch? You know,
as long as I'm not forced to watch people forcing a man to do things. That was uncomfortable.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be. So
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
All I know is that our guest next week, Sarah from the Bird in the Hand podcast, she watched it last week, and all she said to me was, "Oh my God, this effing movie." So,
oh wow!
I don't know what that
Okay.
means.
Right.
I don't know what that means at all.
Maybe there's a lot to read into that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Hereditary next week. In the meantime, go to our website, cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com. There you can find our links to all of our other things. Also, if you are so inclined, apparently people listen to us. I mentioned this a few weeks ago. People listen to us on Good Pods. If you're listening to us on Good Pods, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I got a notification in the email today as I record this that Cheapseat Reviews has made the following top listener chart on Good Pods. Number 2 in the top 100 indie entertainment all-time chart.
Whoa.
Yeah, I saw that. I was
Seriously.
really surprised.
I was totally blown away by that. I could not believe that that's us.
Yeah.
Because I don't promote there at all. So according to Good Pods, Cheapseat Reviews also made number 3 in the top 100 TV all time, number 3 in the top 100 indie TV all time, number 4 in the top 100 entertainment all time, and number 39 in the top 100 film reviews all time.
Yeah.
So, well, that's weird. Okay, this is really strange. Now that I'm reading it's the top one says number 2 in the top 100 indie entertainment all-time chart, and then 3 down, number 4 in the top 100 entertainment all-time chart. Oh, not indie. Okay, never mind.
Just number 4.
Number 4. So that's
okay too.
Yeah, that's really incredible. So thank you all for supporting us there at Good Pods. Again, I didn't know people use that surface at all. And for Sam and Andrew, if you're unfamiliar what Good Pod is, basically imagine Twitter, but only for podcasts.
Oh, okay.
So like there's a feed, channel, right? A tab, a feed where you post your show and you post other people's shows, and you can comment and like and subscribe and all this stuff. So it's a place where you can go and listen to your favorite podcasts and then interact with them directly through the app in Good Pods.
Huh.
But it
sounds super nerdy.
It is super nerdy. I mean, one of the reasons why, to be honest with you, one of the reasons why I didn't spend a lot of time in there is because it kind of felt like a closed circle. Like only other podcasters are in there, because non-podcasters aren't looking to go into that. It's literally just podcasters. So that's why I was like, I don't necessarily only want to advertise to other podcasters. I want people to listen to the show, that want to listen, doesn't only be podcasters.
But you know what? I say on a regular basis, I am perfectly okay being captain of the nerd ship.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
And
I sail on the nerd ship often, and that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And I'm also very happy where the show is right now. I'm happy that we're just, the show has changed for us in the last few months. We're settled back into, this is the hobby, this is the fun,
Yeah.
And I'm very okay with that right now in my life. With things. So, all right. Anyway, with that all being said, go like and support us and all of those things. We do still have merch out there if you want to buy some stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But follow us and like us and subscribe and leave us reviews and all those good things. And that's it. So on behalf of Sam and all the monkeys behind him and Andrew and the cast there, I am Sean saying thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you next week for Hereditary.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.